Partha Chatterjee, one of Mamata Banerjee's most influential ministers, was sacked on the 28th of July. 5 days after he had been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate in a multi-crore school job scam. Before he was arrested, the ED had raided multiple places and shared sensational images of over 20 crore cash recovered from the house of one Arpita Mukherjee. Arpita is an alleged associate of the now former minister. The Trinamool Congress denied any association with the money recovered and distanced themselves from the SSC scam. Both the CBI and the ED are investigating the case. Yes, it's allegedly that big. So what is the West Bengal SSC recruitment scam? Where do the investigations stand and what are its political ramifications? Put simply, the SSC scam or the School Service Commission scam is about illegal recruitment of teachers and other employees in Bengal's public schools. Over 1,000 of such appointments have been found. The story begins in 2016. The SSC started the process to recruit assistant teachers and non-teaching staff in government schools. By 2017, selections and waitlists were out, but candidates could not see the scores of their competitors. They could only check their own. So some aspirants went to the High Court and asked for the lists to be made public, with scores and rankings for transparency. The court said, yes please, but the SSC did not comply. So the aspirants filed a contempt petition and the SSC had to release the lists in 2019. These lists, however, were tampered. And over the course of more petitions and RTIs, it was revealed that candidates with lower marks and some who were not even on the merit list had got appointment letters. There's another angle to these illegal recruitments. In 2019, the selection lists of non-teaching staff or panels expired, but the SSC still recommended their appointment, even though rules explicitly don't allow such a recommendation to be made after the lists have expired. Examples of more than 500 such illegal appointments were submitted in court. Thirdly, similar cases were filed against the Bengal Primary Education Board for illegally recruiting teachers. It turned out that candidates who had not even cleared the mandatory primary teacher eligibility test were handed jobs. There's more. By late 2019, the State Education Department had formed a 5-member committee to assist and supervise the SSC in the pending recruitment process. And guess what? Even this committee was declared illegal by the court. The court asked why the committee was needed when SSC was designed to do exactly the same work. The committee was headed by Shanti Prasad Sinha, who is now under scrutiny as a prime suspect, and it was formed with the approval of the State Education Minister's office. And who was the State Education Minister? Yes, Partha Chatterjee. The minister now faces a CBI inquiry for corruption. The case was heard in the Calcutta High Court by Justice Gangopadhyay. As the inquiry proceeded in 2021, the number of illegal appointments kept climbing. The proceedings resulted in the sacking of those who got their jobs illegally. They were ordered to return the entirety of their salaries and also explain their appointments to the CBI. Ankita Adhikari, daughter of Minister Paresh Adhikari, was one of those who lost their teaching jobs. The court instructed her to return 41 months of salary in 2 installments. The CBI interrogated several top former and serving officials of the SSC, and a court appointment committee recommended criminal cases against many of them, including Shanti Prasad Sinha, while ordering disciplinary action against others. Between the 22nd of November 2021 and the 20th of May 2022, Calcutta High Court ordered 8 CBI investigations. The SSC scam is said to be one of the biggest cases of corruption in the 11 years TMC has been in power, bigger even than the Narda scam of 2016. The High Court called the exposed illegalities just the tip of the iceberg. The SSC scam caused a bit of a storm in the Calcutta High Court as well. On one hand, Justice Gangopadhyay wrote to the Chief Justice of India after some of his orders directing CBI inquiries were stayed by division benches of the High Court. On the other hand, TMC lawyers boycotted his court for 3 weeks and wrote to the CGI complaining against him. Gangopadhyay finally prevailed after a division bench gave him a free hand to direct necessary investigation. Declaring a war against corruption at a hearing on April 6th, Gangopadhyay put the case as if under a microscope. The result? More and more skeletons tumbled out of the SSC scam cupboard. Along with diligent court inquiries, sustained protests and petitions proved pivotal. Since 2016, West Bengal has seen many protests by candidates who failed to get jobs despite clearing the relevant exams. The protests and petitioners played a key role in bringing the alleged SSC corruption to light. The longest of these protests completed almost 500 days when Partha Chatterjee was arrested last month. Now Chatterjee is in ED custody and no longer a minister. The CBI is investigating the criminal aspect of the case and the ED is following the money trail. What happens to the accused politicians and government officials is for the courts to decide. What's of importance here is the enormity of the scam and the subject at the heart of it: government jobs. When News Laundry was on ground covering the elections earlier this year, the youth of the country spoke of their desire for government jobs.
तो जैसा कि देखा जाता है कि गवर्नमेंट जॉब की जो इच्छा है वो लगभग हर स्टूडेंट में है। सब चाहते हैं कि जुडिशरी में जाएं, गवर्नमेंट जॉब में जाएं।
ऐसा क्यों? गवर्नमेंट जॉब की स्पेसिफिकली सेफ्टी,
सिक्योरिटी, सेफ्टी, क्योंकि जो सिक्योरिटी सेफ्टी गवर्नमेंट जॉब में हमको नहीं लगता प्राइवेट जॉब में। आज आप प्राइवेट जॉब में हैं, कल आपको निकाल दिया जाएगा, उसमें सिक्योरिटी नहीं है।
हमारे पास पंजाब में कल आपके प्रोग्राम पे मैं कमेंट्स पढ़ रही थी तो लोग कह रहे थे कि आप अपने जो टैलेंट है उसको क्यों नहीं निखारते, आप लोग सरकारी जॉब की ही बात क्यों कर रहे हो। तो मैं उनको बताना चाहूँगी कि हर स्टेट की अपनी कुछ कंडीशंस होती हैं, कुछ उनकी जियोग्राफी होती है। पंजाब में कोई कंपनी इंडस्ट्री है नहीं, एग्रीकल्चर फेल हो चुका है, तो हमारे पास सिर्फ सर्विस सेक्टर है, तो हम सर्विस सेक्टर में ही जा सकते हैं।
In a desperately poor country like India, where government jobs provide the most secure form of employment, it's no surprise that young people jump through hoops to land one, especially in these times of economic distress. To be robbed of a secure job because of corruption then is to be robbed of a secure future.
The subscription model is something that keeps News Laundry afloat, but we need hundreds of thousands of people to completely transform the news ecosystem. So you pay for news, so it serves you. So click on the link with this video, subscribe to News Laundry and pay to keep news free, और गर्व से कहो, मेरे खर्च पर आज़ाद है खबरें।